Coming up on Techzilla, will rechargeable batteries explode and kill your children? When do you get to record television programs every day that doesn't require a monthly subscription? Getting surround sound out of your console and into PC speakers? Pull out that punch bowl and pour in some Fruit Loops, get the milk and sit your keister down, because Techzilla starts now. This episode of Techzilla is made possible by Squarespace, GoDaddy.com, and Netflix.com. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Welcome to Techzilla, hands-on reviews of the latest tech and how to make the best of the tech you already own.
Indeed, whether you're a beginner or someone who's been around the technology block a few times, if you've got a question about your HD TV, internets, Windows XP, lolcats, Blu-ray, or the best barbecue in Memphis, we've got an answer for you.
And if we don't, we're going to track down someone who does and drag them back here, even if they're kicking and screaming. Are you our very own Amazon champion now, or is this a sort of Veronica princess? Princess Veronica?
Pretty princess. No, I'm Wonder Woman, man. Roger got me this tiara at WonderCon this past weekend, which I unfortunately didn't get a chance to make it out to, but he definitely did.
Lean forward for a second.
If I lean forward, it will fall. My head is
very
very small.
They put LEDs in the star.
Well, you have to show the magic. You have to show them the magic, right? Whatever. Anyhow, Roger said it was great.
Where's your lasso of truth? I want to see the little LEDs.
There were lots of great panels on the Watchmen movie, which I'm super excited about. I got tickets for Friday night. Yay!
So at this point, I'm like thinking about the whole spanking the naughty audience, and now you're tying them up. No, remember last week?
I remember.
Check the bloopers.
Anyhow.
First 20 minutes it's actually really cool. They showed off the first 20 minutes of the Watchmen movie. And from Roger was, I think, drooling, just a little trickle of drool when he was talking about it this morning, which generally means he's incredibly excited. He was actually praising the movie, which is something he's done for approximately 4 movies I've heard him talk about in the 10 or 15 years I've known him. I bring that up because it either means they spent all of the money on the first 20 minutes just to hose the Ain't It Cool news guy, or it's actually an amazing movie, even if Alan Moore said it was impossible to make into a movie.
Well, can I take this off now?
Do you have to?
No.
Come on, you love wearing the tiara.
Yeah, there were tons of people in costume though too, which I was kind of bummed to miss out on. There were people from United Underworld. They dressed up as Batman, Green Arrow, and Gotham Girl costumes. And would you believe they're all UC Berkeley students?
Yes, I would actually. Not only are they smarter than I am, but they have better costumes. In any case, costumes, of course, and especially young men and women in costumes, is really just a shameless plug for Roger's Flickr page with his pics from WonderCon at flickr.com/Roger Chang, as he is in a heated battle with Serafina for the most viewed picture on Flickr. He's never going to own up to it, but I think that's what this is all about.
Why?
Serafina versus Roger, most views on Flickr.
Oh, just between each other, not ever?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a little more sense. You had a question actually about photo organizing, didn't you?
Yeah, actually, well, I started
into Flickr.
Organizing like 3 years of photos on a hard drive this weekend, and it was kind of crazy, and it took me forever. And I want to ask everybody in the audience your favorite ways of organizing your photos and how you do it day to day, because doing it once every 3 years is not practical. Do you do it online, by date, by themes, by work, by school, anything? Just let me know, because I'm really curious. Shoot your email to Techzilla at revision3.com with organizing photos in the subject line.
I'm lazy. I just use iPhoto. I know I shouldn't. Everyone's always
but I mean,
like,
if you want to find a particular photo, how do you find it? Do you label every photo when it goes into iPhoto?
I mean, they're organized by event in iPhoto, so I just go look for that event.
Yeah, see, I find iPhoto, it's the most frustrating
tool on the planet. I know, everyone hates it, I know. I'm just lazy, I haven't gotten around to moving to something different. I know, I hear it all the time.
So far I did it, I figured out sortable by date and then by event, and I basically create a separate folder for each event or set of pictures. Yeah. And I'm just curious if anybody has a better way of doing it. I want to know. Email us, Techzilla at revision3.com.
But anyway, you have a home theater, like surround sound setup at home, right?
I've just rebuilt
every good
mine.
Nerd.
I get to use it like Saturday afternoons, because if I use it at night,
probably the only time.
Well, the baby's asleep at like 6:30. There's nothing quite like firing up the opening 10 minutes of Saving Private Ryan, the dog hiding under the couch or in the bathroom and the baby screaming, followed by the wife kicking me.
Well, I don't know if our first question guy has that same problem, but Ian wants to know how to use the surround sound from his Xbox with some PC speakers. Take it away, Ian.
Hello, Patrick and Veronica. What is the most economic way of using an Xbox 360 with a set of 5.1 PC speakers?
So using PC surround sound speakers on an Xbox 360, can it be done?
It depends. Now, if Ian has a set of older or cheaper PC speakers, they oftentimes use analog inputs only. That means you get like 3 1/8-inch stereo cables that plug into the back of your sound card, one for the front speakers, one for the rear surround speakers, one that covers the center channel and bass maybe. And if you don't have one of those and it doesn't feature any sort of built-in audio surround decoder like Dolby Digital, it's a simple phrase that I find enormously difficult to say without practice, you're kind of SOL, which you can look on Urban Dictionary to find out what it means.
I think they can figure it out. The problem is that older PC speakers were designed for analog outputs on PC surround sound cards. The Xbox 360 and PS3 as well don't have those. They use a SPDIF connector to send the surround sound info digitally. They were designed to be used with a receiver or surround sound speaker system with built-in digital Dolby. God, that is hard to say. digital Dolby, and or DTS decoding. If you can find one like Creative's discontinued DDT S100 that address that issue, it's a decoder box that takes in your digital audio connection and outputs analog signals for surround sound PC speakers that they were selling at the time. But it is a discontinued item, so you'll probably have to eBay it or something.
Yeah, I mean,
something.
The other thing you can do, again, if your surround sound speakers for your PC don't take a digital input, is basically to buy a receiver. Or a new surround speakers that can be used. And that's kind of an interesting question. Like, I have a feeling he's recycling the surround sound speakers for the living room, in which case, you know what, buy somebody's used receiver off of Craigslist, or a cheap receiver that takes in the SPDIF input and will do the Dolby Digital conversion. Or if you want to spend some money, Logitech Z5500 5.1 speaker system. Pretty slick, takes digital and analog inputs so PCs, game consoles, and DVD players can make use of them. Or spring for a home theater in a box. If you wait to find them on sale, or if they happen to be at Costco in the week you're there, because they don't usually stock them at Costco, you're going to have everything you need for surround sound out of the box, including a receiver. Either option is going to cost you, but not too much. Home theater box systems start for about $200. They're not the best, but they do work. For around $300, they start to sound pretty amazing. Or $200 when they're sort of at the end of life, cut down, we're putting out the new model number thing.
You've got some options. You just have to do a little bit of research. Yes. Now, if you guys want to get your 15 seconds of internet fame, send us in a video. All you need to do is record yourself in front of a video camera asking a question no longer than 15 seconds. Then upload them to YouTube and email us a link with video question in the subject line. And please, no attachments. Thank you.
Still to come, taking shows off your DVR and onto your PC. Is it possible? And how about the best way to replace a VCR you're using to record programs?
And hey, we want to take this time now to thank one of today's sponsors, Squarespace. Here to tell you more about them is one of the masterminds behind Revision 3, David Prager.
Hey there, it's David Prager, co-founder of Revision 3. I wanted to come on here to TechZilla to thank one of the sponsors that makes the show possible, and that sponsor is Squarespace. If you haven't heard of Squarespace, they're a web publishing platform as well as a hosting platform. What they allow you to do is basically create a website and put it online, and they provide tools that make you able to tool it around to look like pretty much anything you want, as well as all kinds of functionalities that you'd expect from any website. If you've been on the web, you can see all the different things that you can do online, from viewing videos, submitting videos, having a platform to say things, show images, suck in feeds from different sites you might have online. What this allows you to do is use their features to drag and drop and pull in things, change color palettes and all kinds of design features to really customize it and make it look the way you want. It's really cool because it does all of the back-end coding for you and lets you control just the front end and be really in control of what you're doing without really being able to have the technical chops or needing the technical chops to do the back-end stuff. And even better, Squarespace has put together a special deal to get 10% off your entire order for the lifetime that you use Squarespace. If you go to the site, squarespace.com, use the promo code TECHZ, that's TEKZ, you'll get 10% off for the lifetime that you use Squarespace to create your own site, blog, professional business site, anything like that. Check it out, squarespace.com.
Welcome to this week's freebie download pick, a free program that we find useful, fun, or incredibly interesting. This week's pick, Super Anti-Spyware. If you're a frequent traveler on the World Wide Web, spyware trackers and various other nasties can infect your operating system. While a good antivirus can help keep your system clear of Trojans and viruses, you'll need a spyware cleaner to ensure that your PC isn't a host to items that could siphon off sensitive data, track your surfing habits, or use your computer to do nasty, nefarious things. Enter Super Anti-Spyware. This no-nonsense spyware cleaner will scrub your drives from top to bottom, filtering out registered offenders and removing them. Operation is simple. You can either begin a scan manually, throw in options that include custom scanning and hijack protection, and you have an all-around winner. Just make sure you run it a few times first to clear out all the crap. If spyware cleaning is what you're in need of, give Super Anti-Spyware a spin.
Rod wrote in with a very common question. He asks, I have a lot of content recorded on the hard drive in my DVR. Reading the manual, I've discovered that if you plug an external eSATA drive into it, the content will be recorded there. I can then access the eSATA drive from my computer. Is there a way to get the content from the drive inside without removing it from the DVR? Rod in Orlando, Florida.
Well, we skipped over the specific model of Rod's DVR because the same issues apply across just about every type of digital video recorder we've seen, especially when you're adding an external drive. Adding storage capacity to my DirecTV DVR made it about 1,000 times more usable recording HD video because it took it from like 8 minutes to like 18 hours. All you need is an external eSATA case. I basically chose the Never Heard of It brand case at my local PC store, cost under 20 bucks, included a cable, and it worked great with a 750 gigabyte drive I put inside. I'm actually thinking about going with a 1.5 terabyte or 2 terabyte drive in the near future.
Nice.
Now, yes, hours and hours of recording. Now for Rod's question, Rod, you can get the content of your DVR's internal drive by using the analog loophole, i.e. recording it to another device like a Mac or PC. Matter of fact, that's about all you can do with the external drive. If you can do something with the weirdly formatted, almost undoubtedly encrypted content on the internal or external drive, you are elite hacksaw, and you don't need to be asking us this question.
Reals.
Oh my goodness. I mean, basically, if you could access the content on either drive, people would be using it to create files for trading on the peer-to-peer networks because it would be beautiful, unsullied by compression or the analog loophole, and the studios would fire out lawsuits and put your DVR maker out of business.
You know, the a-hole.
Yes. Remember the replay TV? Yes.
Good times.
It was good times and long gone, and part of that was the lawsuits. It would be great if you could actually see video on your external drive. I would be shocked and amazed because everybody else with your model of external, basically your DVR, cannot do it. The stuff's encrypted so they don't get sued by the content people.
So good luck with that. Good luck with that, buddy. We have more to come, including the best, cheapest way to upgrade from a VCR. But first, it's time now for our Netflix-sponsored movie pick of the week, and this week it's Galaxy Quest.
Woo!
A hilariously heartwarming movie about 5 actors of a canceled but still widely popular sci-fi TV show who make ends meet by making appearances at conventions, store openings, and signing autographs to eager fanboys and girls. Mired in self-pity about their careers but unable to move on, they are found by extraterrestrial fans of the show. Believing that their television exploits are real, they turn to them to save them from a menacing alien race. Fun, excitement, and action follows as Galaxy Quest lampoons sci-fi TV shows and their conventions. Roger knows a thing or two about that. Featuring Tim Allen, Alan Rickman, Sigourney Weaver, Tony Shalhoub, Sam Rockwell, anyone who's seen Star Trek at least once will thoroughly enjoy this film. So never give up, never surrender, and put it in your Netflix queue today. Plus, don't forget to check out the other 90,000 titles available at Netflix, including lots of Blu-ray titles, with free shipping both ways to your home. And because they now have over 40 shipping centers, almost all deliveries happen in just one business day. The Netflix plans start from $4.99, but as a new member, you can get a no-risk 2-week free trial membership. Check it out at www.netflix.com/Techzilla, and don't forget those dubs. Looks like it's time for another website we just can't get enough of. A website that we just can't stay away from because it's too useful, too funny, or just too darn irresistible. This week's pick, BuzzFeed.com. If I put a link on Twitter these days and it's not technology related, chances are I found it on BuzzFeed. This site is a repository for memes on the internet, from videos about to go viral to adorable pictures of Great Danes licking kittens to some of the breaking world news and gossip that's heating up the tubes. The site does have editors, but they largely rely on their registered users to submit links, images, and videos that they found online. If the submission is found to be buzzworthy enough, the editors push it to the front page for the world to see. Naturally, everyone else can comment on the item or give their instant gut reaction by selecting one of the tags, such as LOL, OMG, or geeky. Sure, I wouldn't call it the most academic of websites, but it is very fun. So if you're worried that you can't keep up with all the hot topics online, just make sure to add BuzzFeed to your RSS reader and you'll never miss the weird minutia of the online world again. So while TV in the US of A moves to an all-digital broadcast, a few of you are still rocking that greatest of analog video tech. like Cahill, who wrote us in this email. With the digital conversion, I'm looking for a VCR replacement.
Old school.
That's awesome. Something to record when I'm not home for about 3 hours a week. I've been using the same tape for about 3 years. I'm trying to find something that doesn't cost too much. So far, I've come up with the following solutions. Keep using the VCR by leaving a converter box on the channel I want to record. Only will work if I only want to tape one channel. TiVo requires a monthly fee and not sure if it's worth it for 3 hours of recording. VCR DVD with a digital tuner, the only ones I found will only record digital channels to the DVD. Is there a commercial solution I haven't found that won't charge me a monthly fee or make me go through stacks of blank media? Cahill. So, Cahill, well, it sounds to me like your best solution would be to make a DVR from an existing computer using software. That way you don't have to add another box to your home theater and you won't have to pay that monthly subscription fee like TiVo. You didn't mention if you've got a Mac or PC at home, so we'll give you some suggestions for both. My personal favorite recording software for the Mac is the Elgato iTV. There are several different versions, but they all come with a TV tuner for over-the-air recording, which you can then transfer to an iPod or Apple TV, or just watch on your computer or TV at home. Plus, it'll even convert those old VHS tapes I know you've got lying around. Windows Media Center can also act as a DVR, and you've already have it if you've got Windows Vista Ultimate or Home Premium. Then you need a TV tuner to capture those broadcasts. Like the Elgato, it would be the kind that you can just plug into your USB port. Other decent Windows options include the Yahoo Go for TV. I think that's still in beta, actually. I don't know if they've come out with the full
Final
throttle version, whatever
Yeah.
they're working on. Yahoo's all over the place. And also another one would be Snapstream Beyond TV. The Snapstream software also has place shifting capabilities, so you can watch your recordings in a web browser away from home, kind of like a Slingbox.
It's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, it's not like a separate software thing that you can use like Slingbox, but you can watch it right in a browser, which everyone has. If you're running Linux, however, probably the most popular solution would be to use Myth TV and make a Myth box with a tuner, the software, and some storage you might have laying around. It's a little more in-depth and involved for someone just looking to record a few hours of TV a week, but it could also be a fun project if you're into that kind of thing, especially if you have a lot of components laying around that you're not using, like some extra storage like I mentioned. In fact, we found a whole collection of free DVR software online at www.thefreecountry.com/utility/free-pvr-tv-recording.shtml. But these are all kind of used at your own risk. We can't guarantee that they all work pretty well, etc., etc.
Two more thoughts. We actually did an entire episode of installing Myth on system. We'll put a link to that in the show notes. And if you want just like a little box you can use to record to hard drives, Neuros OSD makes a standard def box, which I think I'm pretty much. We're guessing.
We're not accusing. We're just guessing.
We're guessing you're not rocking the HDTV yet. In which case, the original Neuro OSD box will be amazing for you because you can set it for time shifting. It includes an IR blaster, so it'll change the channels on your digital tuner box, your external digital tuner box, and you'll record a bazillion hours of content to a hard drive, especially if you're doing it in standard def.
I'm really curious what you're recording 3 hours a week. Like,
email us.
I just want to know, just out of total curiosity.
Should we do an audience survey? What do you watch every week, rain or shine?
Other than Texilla?
Other than Texilla.
Anyway, we've got more of your viewer questions coming up, but first, a word from one of the sponsors that makes the show possible, GoDaddy.com. If you want to make an impact online, GoDaddy.com has what you need. .com names as low as $1.99, plus world-class hosting, fast and easy website builders, and much more. Your website visitors, prospects, and customers are wary of websites and online businesses that aren't what they claim to be, and worried that their personal and financial information might fall into the wrong hands. Turn your visitors' concerns into a competitive advantage with the ironclad protection of a GoDaddy.com secure certificate. Plus, enter code TECH3 when you check out and register your domain name for $7.49. Some restrictions apply. See site for details. Get your piece of the internet at GoDaddy.com.
Looking for a magical blend of taste and refreshment? Then Veronica's Custom Tea Blend, Veronica's Berry Zinger, is just the thing for you. Check it out at www.adagio.com/techzilla. Adagio also has teapots, teaware, and tons of other unique loose-leaf teas. A tin of Veronica's Berry Zinger and an Ingenuity teapot would make for a perfect steadying gift for your student. Get your tea on at www.adagio.com/techzilla.
Lauren in Oklahoma wrote in, on episode 77, you mentioned switching to rechargeable batteries. I recently invested in a bunch of the Energizers you mentioned. I'm generally impressed, but I have noticed a problem. Many of the devices around my house that use AA or AAA batteries are not exactly designed for gentle battery removal. How much damage can the battery take before it becomes unsafe? How important is that plastic covering? How can I tell when it's time to retire a rechargeable battery? Do you have any tips to prevent damaging them in the first place? All right, let's talk ribbons, spudgers, ribbons, spudgers, I always get that word wrong, and when to know your battery is done for. For your AA or AAA rechargeables, battery life depends a lot on whether you use a slow charger or a fast charger. Energizer says a fast charger will leave your batteries with a life of about 150 cycles, while a slow charger could keep them going for upwards of 500 cycles. You'll know the battery is worn out when it no longer holds a charge worth spending the hours charging it. It's a good habit to time how long they last when new, then you'll know when they're down to, say, half the life. I wouldn't worry so much about breaking through that outer layer of plastic. It's more label than anything else. But as soon as you see the guts of the battery, it's done for and time for recycling. And we gave you some tips on how to do that in last week's show, so you have to go watch it if you forgot already.
Yeah, one of the interesting things Lauren said is they're digging the batteries out and their fingernails are actually damaging the plastic that's wrapped around the Energizer batteries. I have not seen that yet. And I gotta say, back in the day, everything that took batteries had a little ribbon built into it to make it easy to pop batteries out. You yank on the ribbon,
Yeah,
it'd
what
pop
happened to
out.
that ribbon?
It was cost cutting.
Are you serious? That
kid
ribbon
you-
was like the
what,
greatest.
What other explanation could there be? Especially with like the worst is I've seen is wireless keyboards because they seem to set them up so that it's impossible to shake the batteries
Can I
out
see
even
that?
if you lose the plastic
Now,
cover.
Is this bad?
I don't think so.
Because that's how I get batteries out.
I gotta be honest with you. Most devices pretty much expect you to slap the gadget over your hand.
Ta-da.
I don't think it's great for the spring, but if the spring has issues, you just stretch the spring back into place gently.
I have fingernails, so I can usually get them out pretty well on the first go.
Well, it's funny. I mean, it's most stuff works fine. You can, if it'll fit under the battery cover, tuck a loop of ribbon around the battery to pull it out.
Yeah, make your own ribbon.
And basically
that's a good way.
glue the ribbon to itself so you can lift it out that way, wrap a finger under it or yank it. Regular present wrapping paper works just fine, and most of it is strong as all hell. You can do some devastating tying up of stuff.
I get tiny little fabric ribbons on the tags of a lot of the clothes I buy.
Perfect.
They just tie them that way with a little ribbon instead of using the staple gun with the plastic thing that then I yank out and make a big hole in the back of my shirt.
Get
yeah,
your
I do that all
green
the time.
on.
Yeah, so if you're more into prying things, you need a spudger, which is, according to Wikipedia, a general class of tool used for poking or adjusting small wires or electronics or co-host, generally in the electronics or telecommunications industries. Like you, for example. Get away from me.
Poke.
Generally, you would make one out of like a plastic thing that you can sand down.
Yeah, I mean, or just buy a cheap plastic scraper from your local hardware
Like
store.
a spackler thing,
Well,
like a plastic spackle.
You get a 1/4-inch piece
thing.
of nylon rod and you scrape it. Or you know what works really well? Cheap plastic hangers, and you rub it against sandpaper until you have a nice knife edge on
I
it.
hate that sound.
This sound?
No, please don't. I really
You
hate
can actually
this
hear
sound.
this?
What? Oh God, it's like when I was a kid, my mom would file her nails. It would make my hair stand up on the back of my neck, and I'd want to claw my eyes
Superman
out.
has kryptonite. Veronica has
Yeah.
sandpaper.
And
But
we go
use
ahead.
basically, you can use a
Spudger.
spudger to pop them out if you're really having that much trouble. Just the plastic on the outside, it's pretty much a label, like Veronica said. If you see guts,
Bad.
done.
Whatever you do, don't stick it on your tongue. Is that just for 9 volts, or does that work for these too? I've
Just
never
for
tried.
9 volts.
Okay, don't do that. It's bad.
It's tingly.
Tingly.
It's tingly.
So you guys remember last week where we answered a question about bandwidth usage if someone switched over to broadband as their sole TV watching source. Well, Andrew emailed in with his experience on using broadband internet for TV. He writes, I gave up on my satellite TV about a year ago and now watch all my shows on the computer. I watch about 4 to 5 hours a day.
Wow.
I use Netflix, Hulu, several racing torrents that are not available on US broadcast systems, and also beta test for the Adobe Media Player. I watch all my Revision 3 shows on the Adobe Media Player, by the way, as
Thank
well.
you.
For the month of February, I downloaded a total of 21 gigabytes or 148 gigabits. Some months I use more, but that's pretty close to my average. All right, well, thank you, Andrew, for the heads up on that. A lot less than I would have imagined, especially with the 21 gigabyte usage. Not too bad.
Well, again, we kind of had a sliding scale. The more HD you watch and the less the HD is compressed, the more bandwidth you're going to consume. We also got some horrible emails from people who are working with ISPs for cable and DSL ISPs that are thinking about putting the same ridiculous 5 gigabyte cap that most of the EVDO modem makers are using now. That is pathetic. You got an idea how to find that, or how to fight that actually? We would love to hear it, because a bunch of people are like, my ISP is considering putting in a 5 gigabyte cap. That is ridiculous. I mean, basically threaten to leave.
But fight it with fire.
Fight it with a stick.
Fire.
Fire.
Kill it with fire.
For all you watching, we live on your questions, so do us a favor and email us, Texzilla@revision3.com. Tech help, product reviews, how-tos. You ask us, we'll do it. But we need those emails, so don't be shy. Send them in to Texzilla@revision3.com.
Even better, send us in a video question. Think of all the fun you can have and the admiration of all your friends and family when they see your mug on our show.
Hi, Mom.
Just keep it to 15 seconds, upload it to YouTube, and send us a link in an email with video question in the subject line. Plus, don't forget there's an all-new Totally Rad show this week. The gang blows the doors off with a hands-on of Halo Wars and a review of the new Chun-Li Street Fighter movie. So don't miss the best geek variety show on the web, the Totally Rad Show at revision3.com/TRS, released every Tuesday at 3 p.m. EST. And as always, you can visit our forums at revision3.com/forum. So thank you guys so much for watching, and as we go, we'll leave you with some more of the sights and sounds of WonderCon 2009.
I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Veronica Belmont.
Until next week, you've been watching Texzilla.
So I spent a lot of my time thinking about other things.
Hi, I'm Kat. I'm dressed as Catwoman.
I'm Marlena, and I'm dressed as Tara from Teen Titans.
I'm Rob, and I'm dressed as Green Arrow from Justice League.
I'm Batman.
I'm here as Poison Ivy.
I'm dressed as Black Canary.
I'm Harley Quinn with United Underworld. It's entirely made out of velvet, except for the gloves, the mask, and the shoes, which are made out of leather.
My costume is a collection of dancewear items, also just like other items from the store. Like these are like princess pageant gloves, and then I've dyed them green.
I built my costume out of a dance leotard initially.
You combine that with a very skilled makeup artist, or unskilled as the case may be, and see what happens.